Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Butterfly Experience LLC. I hope somebody's out there. I hope my reception is good where I'm sitting. And some weekends when I come out to get ice cream, I like to sit and talk to the people. I hope somebody's there. Hello, Tommy Blakes. How are you? I'm out here sitting in my car. I'm hoping you can see. I'm going to just sit here for a moment. I'm not going to be here long. Hi, Butter Jones. How are you? I'm sitting in my car enjoying one of my favorite things. I'm not, I don't work for anybody, I work for somebody, but this is not a plug for any company. But this is something I like to enjoy when I can because it's going to be limited. And today I have something very unique. And I've been posting this on Facebook about being ourselves. I posted something. Hello, is it still morning? It's afternoon. Oh, it might be morning where you are. Oh, are you in a different coast? What coast are you in? Can you hear me? I hope my sound is up. Where are you at? That is still morning. I think it's like 3:52 p.m. where I'm at in the East Coast in Maryland. Well, I wanted to talk about uniqueness. Now, I'm eating a Rita Water Ice Swedish fish plus vanilla. Now, how many of y'all know about Swedish fish candy? Excuse me. So I want to talk about uniqueness and us being allowed to be who we are. Just came to me when I posted what I posted about people having a definition on what you should be like as a young lady or as a presenter or as a leader or in business. This idea that you have to have a specific standard or you have to speak a certain way or behave a certain way or do things a certain way to be eloquent enough or to be accepted in certain fields or certain situations. And when you have an edge to you, so to speak, they call it an urban edge, it's an issue. I talked about this one time on one of my previous posts when I had actually went to an interview out here in the DMV area, and I had this wonderful presentation. They liked the presentation, but the recruiter told me that I needed to get rid of my accent. And that I wouldn't be accepted in that area because they were very conservative. And I thought that was a little insulting. Okay, so I want to talk about that today. I don't know if you're all ready for deep discussion today. If not, just join me for a nice Saturday afternoon. I mean, do you believe how nice the weather is? For those of you on the East Coast, I'm taking advantage of this. How many days are we going to have like this? I tell you, the sky is so blue, it's ridiculous. It's blue. I'm just sitting with my windows closed right now. It's so hot or warm that I have my air conditioning on. So what's happening? I need y'all to speak up for me. Are y'all getting me? Do you have reception here? I hope we do have reception. I don't know. Eating my ice cream. I should invite some people. Let's see. No, I'm just going to relax. Well, I didn't have anything deep to talk about today, so I'll come back another time. I'm just hanging out, eating my ice cream, chilling out on a Saturday before I go back in the house and finish what I was doing, which was a proposal. Hi, Stacy. How are you? Just having a conversation today about just when there's a perception about I guess how one is supposed to be when they're in business, or if they're a public speaker or they're a leader in an organization, and they may have a specific accent or specific background, and somehow or another it's not viewed as being your original self. You can't be your original self. I was speaking to the audience about having a situation in the past where I went on an interview in the DMV area and I was told that I needed to get rid of my accent. And I found that to be highly offensive. And I think that, it's important for us to be our authentic self. That I posted something the other day regarding, I think I posted it early this morning, because I was thinking about it. A couple of things. We're unique. We have our own way of being. We have our own upbringing, but it doesn't negate our value. And so I think it's very important for people to be their authentic self. Think about some of the, and I talked about this before on another post. I don't know if it was on this page or not, about some really famous people that are of color who are able to be themselves, and they are pretty wealthy. Now, I'm wondering, did they evolve into their natural selves once they got the money? Was it a game? Or did they just, dedicate themselves to being themselves, and they were accepted for it? I think of Steve Harvey, I think of Oprah Winfrey, I think of Puff Daddy, Jay-Z, Master P. I'm saying these people who happen to be in the music industry, which maybe that has something to do with, many of them were in the entertainment industry, which maybe makes a difference, because people tend to accept you when you're in the entertainment business, and they accept all that comes with you. I'm not in the entertainment business. I was actually giving a presentation, and the materials that I was offering, they wanted those materials. Okay. But the recruiter had stated to me that she felt that I needed to get rid of my accent if I was ever going to be successful in this area. So what do you think about that? Do you think that we can be ourselves? Hi, Kevin, how are you? Or do you think that people who have a particular accent, or they have a particular style, if they're so-called labeled as urban, or their speech is not as eloquent as some other people's speech, whatever that's supposed to mean, does that somehow negate their value? Exactly. Very subjective. But the person who said that to me was an African American person, which I found to be even more interesting and insulting. So, I'm sitting here with you all, just enjoying a snack, as I talked about earlier. I don't really have anything deep to talk about today. I just wanted to stop in while I was enjoying this beautiful day. It's so important for us to take a moment, and breathe and relax. I was in the middle of a serious project, and I had to just get out of the house and just come out and talk to everyone, and come out and get one of my favorite treats and check in with you all. So what's been happening? Oh, Stacy, if you get a chance, I know. She was just one person. You're so right. And I've never really had that problem in the past until I came to this area. I mean, being from New York City, I've always been able to be myself. I didn't know if there's a specific way I'm supposed to be other than who I am. And the funniest thing about it, I talked about it in one of my other posts, when I went to the second interview, I tried to adapt how I was speaking. I was struggling with communicating. I was embarrassed. I was stuttering over my words, and I bombed the interview. And this was some time ago, but it stuck with me. I think that it has something to do with another topic that I'm going to be talking about soon at a presentation that I'm going to be giving, which is about microaggressions. And that was just blatant. But the way that she said it, it was like she was, trying to, laugh it off and give me some advice. And she went on to tell me how somebody who was from the South, the deep South, she had to have them get rid of their accent as well. So I thought that was interesting. And it, when people insult you, or they say expect you to be like someone else, or put you into a particular box, it's not a very comfortable place to be in. Not at all. But I'm going to be talking about microaggressions soon. And those are those snubs that people usually give marginalized people, okay? Those comments that are made that are unbeknownst to most people, they don't even realize they're saying it, that have impact on the one who is receiving it. I always say we cannot allow people to take residency in our brain. Exactly. You really can. You know, but it makes you think. You know, when you think about people of color who are successful, is there an adaptation? You know, do they adapt? And often the answer is yes. You know, most people will adapt. One of the most popular specialists in diversity that I've always studied and used in my trainings down through the years was, she's a very well-renowned activist, and her name is Jane Elliott. And she talked about how we assimilate. And assimilate is to act like the dominant class. And, you know, very often in some professions, if you don't assimilate, or you don't speak a certain way, or you don't conduct yourself a certain way, or you're not viewed a certain way, you're ostracized or ridiculed or somehow, you know, diminished in some way. Even though you may be the person that comes up with all the ideas, the go-to person, they want to use your brain. They just don't want you to represent the brand. They want to use your brain, but they don't want you to represent the brand. Something to think about. That's why you should have your own. That's why I advocate to have my own. It was very interesting, and you know, they hate on us. Exactly. You know, but they loved the presentation. And I kindly said, thank you. All this that I presented belongs to me. Thank you. You will not take ownership for my ideas if you don't want to have me a part of those ideas. I learned that a long time ago. I had that happen to me quite a few times where I've, you know, had things snatched right from underneath of me. So, you know, I've learned a lot. But what is, you know, what are we telling, you know, young people, hardworking people? Maybe they're not even young, but they're older, or they're in I would say working class people who are attempting to build themselves, and they're pursuing their degrees and their education, or they're trying to finagle their way into society and be successful, and they're marginalized by the way that people perceive them, you know, the way that they speak or the way they carry themselves. And it is so funny to me. The funniest thing about what I'm talking about is the fact that the very same culture, the very same colloquialisms, terms, other, you know, mannerism, style is adapted by the larger society in commercials and TV shows, music and everything, even in some business ideas and concepts. But it's not, it's twisted up a little bit, and the majority will take credit for those very same things, but they don't want it to come from the minority that created it and presented it. Interesting. Like I said before, they want to have your ideas, but they just don't want you to represent it. Problematic. Okay? And what is acceptable? What's acceptable? You know, what's unique to you and who you are is acceptable. It's who you are. As long as you're not offending anybody, as long as you're not immoral in your actions, right? If it's not illegal, then you should be allowed to be who you are. It's not offensive, you know? You should be able to bring the flair that's within you. So I was wondering what you all thought about that. So I just wanted to chit-chat for a minute. Well, my ice cream is about to melt. I'm not going to have that happen, but y'all have a wonderful afternoon and enjoy your day. Hi, Kenneth. How are you? You can check the playback. I just wanted to talk for a few moments, have a little chit-chat with you all for a few minutes about individuality and people in our society that want to keep people from being who they are. You know, and me being from an urban community, I was born and raised in Harlem. I keep saying on my post that most of my life I spent in the suburbs, and that's actually not true. Because when I look at my age now, I left Harlem when I was 18. Of course, I came back and forth to visit family. But I actually have spent more time in a suburban area. Interesting. But I am who I am. Okay, so y'all have a great day.